First of all, let's start from a very beginning. Do you think the backlash that he got for this particular incident was justifiable?
Well, once again, thanks for the opportunity. Generally speaking, some sort of backlash, was to be anticipated, given the current political climate we operate in here in Ghana. The previous government simply let people down so terribly. The actions during that period amounts to elite plunder of public resources. Going forward, Ghanaians are wary of any such action. So when, the incident involving Sammy Gyamfi occurred, the tendency for people to misinterpret it as amounting to political corruption. It doesn't. So it is that misinterpretation that might have given, if you like, a vent to the public uproar. Somehow, given this understanding, I won't say it's legitimate, but it was to be anticipated. I think the issue is clearly misinterpretation of what occurred.
Misinterpretation?
Yes.
What was misinterpreted for you?
The tendency for people to characterize that as political corruption or a bureaucratic corruption, it doesn't fit any of such characterization. It doesn't. And so if anybody reacts to it with such a mindset, with such an understanding, I call that, if you like, a misinterpretation of the event.
If anybody interpreted it to be evidence of political corruption,
yes, or administrative corruption,
you think this incident does not fit into any of those categories?
No, it doesn't.
But people saw money and they saw dollars.
It doesn't necessarily amount to corruption. Seeing dollars, seeing money. Speedily, on the heels of this incident, you realize that the Bank of Ghana is picking up something that happened recently in Tanzania, banning the use of foreign currency in the country, and in making sure, going now to enforce existing laws, following on these heels. So it's like Ghana has relaxed for a while, and people keep dollars on them. Of course, as a public officer, you should know better. That is where his, challenges come in. And indeed, I also characterize it as indiscretion, on his part. He was not discreet.
Because there are many reactions, including even the MPP comparing it to the Cecilia Dapa matter.
You realize that this is funny. We're looking at somebody who demonstrated that even after so much money was taken away from his house, she didn't even know that she had lost money. We are looking at completely different things. You can't do that sort of comparison.
And then what did you make of those who then were calling for him to be removed as a result of this?
That is what I blame on the current climate, political climate we are in, if you like, the anti-corruption sort of a factor, which has now characterized understanding of government and governance. Everybody expects that people in government, especially in President Mohammed's government, will demonstrate those ethical sort of values in their actions and inactions. And once again, that of Sammy Gyamfi has issues there. It was unethical in the first place to be keeping US dollars on you, a public officer, keeping it on you while moving from one place to another. If it were to be in your bank account, you had a few dollars at home, that's okay. But when on the spur of the moment you need to give money to somebody, you take money out of your pocket and it's US dollars. It has issues with ethics, public ethics, bureaucratic ethics. It has issues in there. And then two, giving money out that way. And even that way, I still look at it because the person involved is a man of God, a woman of God, the head pastor of a Christian ministry. She carries the ministry about. And when we find ourselves in situations like that, dealing with religious leaders, our generosity, sees no bounds. So you want to support the work of God. You want to go ahead and do it. So over there are issues in there that does not necessarily justify the way we want to crucify him. No. We all go to churches and we donate. Somebody will say that that's not a church place. The person of the pastor is the church in that particular instance. So once again, you see, we can't criticize, we can't shoot him down. We may criticize him, but we can't shoot him down. No. The call for his removal is unwarranted. It's not fair.
His only public reaction, even till now, is an apology. How critical was it for him to have apologized immediately the backlash started?
It is because we are dealing with someone who, in that case, decided to be honest and sincere and came to terms with the fact that he had not behaved discreetly. So why waste time? That's it.
The decision of the presidency is, we accept his apology. He's further extended that apology to the presidency. Secondly, he's been duly cautioned against any such repetition of any such behavior in the future. But they do not see the need to take any further action, including his removal, like people say. Good enough?
It is because why should we take any further action? Why should we take any further action? Given the situation he found himself in, many of us, if we were to have dollars on us, but not cedis, which is problematic, we would have given out the dollar. Here we are, a Reverend Minister who has also come to apologize profusely for her past, indiscretion. And then, given what the Reverend Minister did, she's also carrying herself and her congregation into the NDC. They should not be lost on us. Given that scenario, she goes ahead to ask for money, you will give her. You will give her because she's not only crossing to your camp, she's coming with the whole team. So it was social, at the same time political. But the issue there does not amount to, like I said earlier, on political corruption. So what the president has done is what really should be done. What else do we expect the president to do?
And Doc, before I leave you, because you keep referring to the woman as she's an evangelist, a minister of the gospel. But there are those who, she's quite a polarizing character. And there are those who have a problem with the fact that she was the beneficiary of that. In fact, many people within the NDC have serious issues with it because one of the things they pointed out is that she made some very unsavory comments about the flag bearer, now president of the party.
Yeah.
And they feel that she should not be the one who should be and her character in the public domain, among others, Sammy Gyamfi shouldn't even entertain her in the first place. What do you make of those suggestions?
She's a person to be entertained. Democracy is a game of numbers. What Sammy Gyamfi did, indeed, looking at it from the angle of the party, was just excellent. The party is welcoming. The party is ready to move along with everyone. You were so vicious against the party yesterday. If for some reason you think that the NDC under President Mahama is doing something good to Ghana and you want to come back, you are welcome. So here, I will appeal to the party's faithfuls, the foot soldiers, to really calm down. I mean, they didn't do so terribly. Looking at it from that angle, it was the right thing to do. You woo her. She comes in, apologizes, and somehow set a traps that, put herself in. Can you give me something for transportation? That was it. So you woo her. You in a way break her hands. She's going nowhere again. And she's not the only person coming back to join the NDC.
Well, Doc, thank you, as always, for speaking to us.
Most welcome.
Dr. KWESI AMAKYE BOATENG join us on the line for a conversation on this matter, because the presidency has made a decision. Everybody said we're waiting for the presidency to make a decision. The presidency has made that decision. This is Mokailo Alasan, who says, thank you for forgiving Sammy Gyamfi'S. He aired big time, but